It's a giant deep-sea koan that's been chained to the surface for hundreds of years. The king trapped him in this mysterious sea because he often swallowed human ships by mistake. The giant koan spent his days in tears, longing to be free, until one day he met Avanti and a little donkey. The kind-hearted Avanti decided to help him out of his predicament. He rode the donkey straight towards the giant's nostrils. Inside the giant's nostrils, the donkey scratched him with his wings. An itchy sensation spreads all over his body. He couldn't stand the sensation. His whole body started to exert force, and the thick chain was shaken by the powerful force. In the end, he sneezes and breaks free from his bonds. Avanti and Little Donkey were also sprayed out, but luckily Little Donkey could fly, so they didn't fall to their deaths. Unbeknownst to them, this donkey was originally a divine horse in the heavenly realm, but he escaped to the lower realms when the guards went to the Peach Blossom Festival. But he fell into the water because he was unfamiliar with the place. But Avanti found him in time and rescued him. In order to repay Avanti for saving his life, the divine horse turned into a small donkey and guarded him, and also brought 2 strong horses for Avanti. But last night's arrival of the divine horse had destroyed a large wheat field, and the farmer was charging towards Avanti in an aggressive manner. The little donkey let Avanti ride on him, and with a whoosh, he was gone 180,000 miles away. That's not a donkey, that's a Lamborghini. But Avanti decided to sell the 2 BMWs to compensate the farmer for his loss. As soon as they entered the market, they were surrounded by people. Unexpectedly, the greedy king watched them. Avanti had no choice but to watch as the king took the BMWs for himself. The little donkey on the side, however, was not used to the king's overbearing behavior and blew a loud whistle, only to see the 2 BMWs instantly broke out of the door, not expecting the king, who had not yet got off the car, to be pulled out together. In the end, the king lost control and fell headlong into the flour, turning into Snow White. Although the king was humiliated in front of his people, he couldn't put Avanti to death, so the cunning king gave Avanti a way to redeem himself. In the deepest part of the desert, there lived a vicious firebird that often attacked the king's soldiers. If Avanti could destroy it, he wouldn't be punished for offending the king. Avanti had no choice but to take his donkey into the firebird's territory. Judging from the armor and weapons on the ground, he knew how many human soldiers had been swallowed here. But Avanti still had the courage to throw the nuts he had prepared on the sand. Legend has it that this kind of nut can make the firebird's body soften and lose its strength. As time went by, a red light was lit up under the sand in front of us. Suddenly a hot flame sprang out of the ground. To see carefully, this is not a firebird but a cultivation of 10,000 years of fire phoenix. The newly awakened phoenix leapt up and shot into the sky. Those who see the phoenix will be lucky if they stay here. The phoenix is excited when it finds food on the ground. It crosses its fingers and grabs a nut and throws it into the air, then jumps up gracefully and catches it in its mouth and finally swallows it with its shell. As the phoenix eats more and more, it starts to feel weak and unable to stand. But even so, it couldn't resist the temptation of the food and fell to the ground after grabbing the last nut before it fell asleep. The phoenix swallowed the last nut before it fell asleep completely.